And we are at one of the winner semis matches. LAO9 versus Dan. Now they have fought in the group pros before. I believe it was Group C. Yeah, Group C when LAO was Harmony and Dan was Limrez. But now this is the real deal here. One person will be moving on to winners finals, and the other one will be going to losers bracket. For who though? We will never find out. Well, we will, just not until after this match is done. So both players are obviously familiar with one another, so maybe we'll have a more drastic outcome, or more a more long-lasting match. But we'll see who moves on. Right now, LAO's moving on with this point. Really good. Like I said, I think the frontal extension of LAO's GTR is like good. I think he just needs to work on like the tail end or the back end of like the GTR so he can actually get longer chains. I think if he can do that, he might have a better chance of beating Dan, because I know Dan struggles with transitions for his chaining. It's because you don't want that to be your problem when you're mostly doing stairs, because like if you're doing stairs and you don't really transition, you're kind of capped at a certain chain length, and you don't want that to be your downfall, because people can just know, oh, okay, this person can't transition with stairs, so I have to just make like a 5 or 6 chain and I'll win, or 7 or 8 chain, really. I mean, Dan has hit like 7s and 8s before, but like, but it's not like he does it, he's like a, you know, needs to be a bit more stronger, spot on the second floor as well. He kind of just touches it. It's kind of like a cat, or like, yeah, a cat on like snow. Like they put their paws in it and then they just dip out because it's too cold. That's kind of like Dan, like the second floor. You reach it and then you're just like, nope. And then he just sets off the chain. Then again, not all cats are afraid of the snow, as far as I know. I mean, probably like house cats that are used to being indoors. What is going on here? Okay, had to look at something real quick, but not sure what happened to LAO, but Dan will be taking that point home in a trophy case. Okay, so again, more GTR from LAO. Okay, so those places being thrown to the side as well from LAO also reminds me of Sal's, because he did that all the time. I think he still does it. He just puts all his pieces to the side when he doesn't know what to do with them, or if it's something to press for piece. So probably learning to improvise with the piece that you have rather than just throwing to the side would also do you some good over there. I mean, the section was still impressive nonetheless. And it does give you the point. But don't want to make throwing pieces to the side a habit, because that will be very bad. Use them for the tail so you don't just get locked out of like one half of the board. Okay, all clear start for both players. Wonder what they're gonna do, and looks like they're both just gonna opt to stick in the main chain, which is not the worst strategy. There are definitely better options out there, but this one's not the worst. But going to main chain isn't the worst thing in the world. It is not an idea I would recommend, but it's not like an outright terrible idea to do. Because most players would just either build to the left or right, like either like a holy counter or what do they call it, devil's counter, something like that, where it's just like they built the trigger really high to like absorb garbage. But of course, this isn't really like a Juice playing video. This is more of a Juice watching someone else play, because it's a tournament that she hosted type of videos. So I can't really like visualize it, but both players can hit me up on DMs and I'll show it. Or, you know, they can just watch my videos, because I kind of do it. LAO's GTR is was really lacking there, and now he's kind of just buried there, so now he has to figure something out. For that, Dan can pretty much, yep, exactly what I think he was gonna do. He had no reason to like overextend that, so he just set up the 5 chain, putting Lao in a pretty difficult position. Pretty much just threw the bone there, but that is another point for Dan. 3-2, not bad. Another all clear start, so probably gonna be main chaining again for both players. Yeah, main chaining with stairs after an all clear start is kind of crazy, because like that thing is so tall, so like you kind of don't want to be closer to red X, because like if Lao just accidentally pops one chain like that, then you're kind of almost at the X already. Good thing he figured that out. Now, both players are in a pretty bad position, but I would say that Lao has a little bit more space to work with. But if Dan just repeatedly pokes him with like 1 chains and constantly disrupts him, then I can see it working out for him. Oh, imagine if there was a world that Lao got that perfect 3-column harassment, or column 3 harassment. And my, how the tables have turned. Dan really just swept it. Just said, you know what? You will be in trouble this time. But both players are now tied with each other, 3-3. 3-3. I was gonna say 3-3, but that's not a number. More stairs versus GTR, but the GTR is a little bit, well, okay, it looks a little bit better. I mean, a little bit too much reds for our liking, but you put a green in column 4, it should be alright. But that did not happen. I feel like that one green link that I mentioned would probably have helped, because the garbage was kind of at the red rocks. So that just means like a 1 or 2 link would have outchained them, usually. You could watch my my shorts on if the chain counters thing to kind of get a better understanding of that. Though it's not really me talking it, it's just kind of like showing off a chain and then showing off a chain, countering another chain, and then pauses and asks, will this chain counter? And then you guess right. You guess yes or no. I really need to do more shorts, because like I have all these clips I just don't know what to do with. It's like I have clips that I'm trying to make a video series for that a lot of you should like, because it should be to your asking of what you want from me, even though I didn't really want to do it initially. Or well, I think you guys would like it, but you know, I just have a lot of them to go through. Because like I have to go through those clips, and I have to go through the replays that I have of making those clips, and not replays of like of the Nintendo Switch. It's like replays of like the match actually happening. Lots of pieces just being thrown up to the side by Lao, which again you don't want to make a big habit of, because then that's going to hinder your ability to actually tail. Don't. Well, now you're in trouble, because now you pop that yellow that you needed. So you gotta replace it. So how will Mr. Lao replace this? He will not. He will be sent a red letter called column 3, and there's a huge ass X right on top of the screen. The game said, alright, that's it, clock out. Alright, more stairs in GTR from the players. Lao's GTR looks a lot better. I mean, aside from like the reds on top of those, like that's probably where the greens would have gone. Columns 5 and 4 respectively. But now it's kind of a bit of a kerfuffle. And it looks like Lao is feeling confident to send his chain off with a 5. But honestly, or sorry, a 6. Excuse me. But since Dan was really sealed off over there, there's really nothing that Dan could have ever done. So LAO kind of had the right idea there. So props to LAO for seeing that. Using your eyes, using the Tron vision. That's not really a thing, but I'm calling it a Tron vision. A lot of double color. Okay, so if you're going to build GTR and you don't have like the left side of it finished and you have double colors, use double colors. Like, you don't have to wait for like anything else to be done. Just use double colors. It'll save you some time. And quite frankly, you don't want to be left doing GTR and like keep leaving your GTR so open to attacking like that, because then people are just gonna attack you. Nice fortune from LAO there. It's gonna take some garbage, but not a lot of garbage, so still doable. A lot of greens though. Christmas was a holiday. Dan retaliating. Dan has not received a single piece of garbage yet, so Dan has to be reflecting these attacks pretty well in order for that to not happen. Like, he finally just got his garbage piece, so I jinxed it, but you know. LAO in a little bit of, well, a little bit more than a little bit. He is kind of in a word of hurt, but Dan can easily end his misery. That 3-chain might hit because LAO's sides are kind of like really limited. Like, he can only really play in columns 3 and 4. 2 and 5 are kind of like, you can play in there, but you kind of have to work for it. It's kind of like Bejeweled in a way, I guess. It's like you kind of have to work for it to like get over there, but you kind of can't. Would have been a great idea to put those purple, for that purple and blue piece sideways. You can use the purple dig earlier, but we did get it. 3-chain. Looks like March time did activate. I forgot it activates like every 96 seconds. But you guys can kind of just see down there at the timer at the bottom left. Sorry, bottom right. So if 90 seconds has passed, then that means March time has activated, which basically just makes like the amount of attacks kind of just, you know, explode. So basically a 2-chain is just going to be a little bit stronger, 3-chain should be a little bit stronger, etc, etc. Just so that way the game can end earlier. It's kind of like the hurry up thing in Tetris Friends or whatever, where like the garbage kind of like builds up from below in hoping to knock, in the hopes of knocking someone out. But it doesn't happen in this game because well, Tetris players are just like, that's a probably bad idea. I really like, I don't know, I don't really, like I said, I don't really listen to Tetris players that much. But it's not in this game, and I don't think it's in actually any modern Tetris. Like, they don't have like the hurry up cue thing, or maybe they do, I don't know. Lots of misplacement opportunities for LAO though. Like a lot of places, like a lot of placements are kind of just all over the place. Is that teabagging? Dan, you're better than that. We don't teabag in this house unless. Actually, there probably is no reason, but you know what? It was. I'll give you the funny for that, but not cool, dude. But he will be taking on winners finals against whoever wins the other winners semis, and LAO will be into losers bracket.